Hey, welcome to Createful Christmas. Today we're going to
paint a snowman.
What you're going to need is a black piece of paper. We're using cardstock for this, and we're using just a 6x6 inch size to make this an easy lesson. We have acrylic paint, green, white, and red, and black, a jar of water, a palette to put your paint on, round brushes and flat brushes, some white glitter, and paper towels. The first thing that you're going to want to do, and parents might want to do this for you, is put red paint on your palette here. Palette is just something that holds your paint. Green, white, and black. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your flat brush right here, and you're going to dip it in your white, and you're going to use the edge of your brush, but just like this, and you're going to, like you're drawing, you're just going to paint a curved line to the side here. Now see how I ran out of paint? I'm just going to get some more paint on my brush and keep making that line. It's called loading your brush with paint. And I'm using the edge of my brush. See how I'm using the edge right here to make a nice clean edge? Or you can go like this and do the same thing. But this way, you're working with this hairs on your brush. And you're still making a nice line. See how that works? Okay, now all you have to do is fill this all in with white. Okay. So now you'll notice that you can see your brush strokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have to go over this one more time, or maybe a few times to get it to be nice and white. And notice how we're not using any water. The water would make it more translucent, which means see-through. We don't want it. See how I'm making kind of a rainbow? See my rainbow? Following the lines with a rainbow.
Thanks for your idea. We could use rainbow for scribblers. They could do a rainbow.
Yep. And then I'm just going back over and smoothing that out. Your paper will curl a little bit, but you can straighten that out later. Okay, and see how it dries so quickly? That's what acrylics do. They dry fast. So you can keep going over the area with more and more white until it's a nice white color. Okay, I'm adding one more layer here.
And it should make it look like a real snowman, hopefully.
Okay. Then we're done with that, and we need to let it dry, and we need to take our paintbrush and clean it. And then you can just keep it in your water for now. Before this dries, you're going to add some sparkle to it. Now it should be a little wet still, okay? And now we're going to dip this in red. Now remember what I said about the line and going the way of your hairs on your brush. Okay, we're going to use this square of the brush to make a line. And we're going to go from this side, see just above this curve, and we're going to follow the curve over until the curve runs out. And we're going to have to add more to our brush because paint runs out on our brush. Keep going back for paint, and then just go over that same line. And we're going to have to add paint on it until it's a nice bright red. Okay, you can always pick up paint by getting your brush wet. Okay, and then along the lines that you want to pick up, you just take it. Can I show you first? You just take it and you pick up the paint like that. See how I picked it up? And I got rid of it. There, see? It's kind of like an eraser. Okay, grab your round brush. Gonna dip it in your black. Okay, and you're going to make 2 ovals right here. Okay, you want to leave some of the white there. See how I left some white? It's like you're drawing an oval and just leaving the whiteness in the inside. And then another one over here, another oval. It's just like drawing, except you have to use the pressure. So if you push down too much, it's going to make it really fat. But if you're light and you don't push down very much, then it's going to be a skinny line. Okay, we're only using a few colors here, so we're going to make the nose red, and we're going to make it look like a jelly bean.
A big fat jelly bean.
Yep, so we're going to make a sideways oval, and again we're going to want to leave some of the white inside, and some of your sparkles will come up. That's okay.
I think that's amazing. I like sparkles. I used to call myself when I was little Sparkle.
That she did. Okay, and then you want to leave some of it white, so I'm just going to go around this part right here that I want to leave white and fill it in. Lovely. Okay, you ready for the, oh, okay, you're not ready.
Like, are you ready for it? Okay.
Clean out your brush real well, and then get the water out of your brush when you're done with that. Okay, now we're going to dip our round brush into the black. Okay, and we're just going to make circles like this by making a round shape. Now you can use the bottom of your brush to make circles like this into a smile shape. Look, now our snowman's smiling. Now we're going to make some black circles up here. We're going to put them maybe right here. And this is just going to be the shadow of our holly. Okay, and we have to let that dry. Before we add anything over this red, we have to have the red dry, because we're going to add green over the red, and if we mix the red and the green together, it's going to make a gray color or brownish color. So if you need to, go blow dry it or just wait for a little bit. Okay, now we're ready to put in the leaf. So we're going to grab our round brush, make sure it has a nice point on it, and we're going to make some triangles. You only need to get a little paint on your brush, make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, we're going to start by, now you can put this wherever you want in any direction you want. We're going to start by making a triangle. Okay, and then we're going to fill in our triangle. We might have to go back for paint. Okay, see the triangle there?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to make a triangle right in the middle, points to that triangle. See? Just another triangle. Right next to that triangle. Okay, now we're going to add a smaller triangle, but it's pointing this direction this time. It's pointing the opposite direction. We're going to fill it in. Now we can fill in all of them if we need to, if you're connected. Okay, see how we made that? Simple shapes. And make sure, see how I make sure I washed my brush out? Okay, and I'm going to dip the bottom of my brush into the red, and I'm going to go over those black things like this. This is the holly, and the black was to separate this red from that red. See? And then you take your bottom of your brush and you just put a little bit of white on there for the shine. Shining on there. And sometimes it'll pick up, sometimes it won't because it's wet still. So you might have to let it dry for a little bit. There, see, that's good enough.
And then sign your work.
And then sign your work. And you're done! Yay! Good job! Here's our finished snowman. We hope you had fun. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you soon for another Christmas art project. Bye!